Please welcome the Mayor of West University Place, Susan Sample.
Thank you to Troop 266 for leading us in the pledge as I kick off the 2026 State of the City Address. Looks like we have a great crowd. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. It was a great video highlighting the city and all that's been accomplished in the last year. And I do encourage every one of y'all to take advantage of, if you can, the Citizens Police Academy and the Citizens Academy. And I know we have ambassadors here in the audience, so we'll be glad to talk to you about what an amazing experience it is. As you can see, 2025 was a busy year for WestU. And before I get started, I want to recognize the efforts of all those who contribute to making our city a special place. First, I'd like to recognize my fellow council members, Mayor Pro Tem John Barnes, right here, Councilmember Dr. John Bertini, Councilmember Clay Brett, and Councilmember Kaylee Rainsberger. I would also like to acknowledge State Representative Ann Johnson and her team. Representatives from Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher's office. And State Senator Molly Cook's office for attending tonight. WestU is grateful to have you and your team support and advocating for our city at state and federal levels. I also understand Senator Cook's office would like to say a few words, so I invite Lena Burke up at this time. Next, I'd like to recognize the residents who serve on our volunteer task force boards and commissions. Friends of WestU Parks, that should be on everybody's mind. They had their big event Saturday night. I want to give a big shout out to Friends of WestU Parks for their continued partnership and generosity through 25 and continuing into 26. We have plenty of exciting potential improvements to our parks and recreation facilities this year, and I'm excited to see what we accomplish together. As you see, they refurbished the west end of Colonial Park, and it was severely underutilized, and I invite everyone to go over there and check it out, even if you're not swimming in the pool. Task forces. In 2025, we formed 2 task forces to review 2 issues: facilities utilization task force, the public spaces that house senior services, and the library need reinvestment for upgrades and to improve these buildings. The question is the level of reinvestment. The City Council formed a task force composed of 8 residents with equal representation of those who were supportive of replacing the buildings and those who are supportive of keeping and modifying the existing buildings. And this group is working very diligently to evaluate the buildings and the needs of the community. When completed, they will report back to City Council with their findings and recommendations. So keep an eye out on more information for their work. I know they're really spending a lot of their time on this, and I appreciate it. The second is the Underground Utilities Task Force. This group is composed of residents who are familiar with the energy industry and are reviewing the age-old question that I and probably everyone here is, why isn't the city burying the power lines? So this group is reviewing options and the feasibility of moving power lines from overhead to underground to improve resiliency, and hopefully this will answer the question once and for all, at least with current technology. I'd also like to recognize the important work of our boards and commissions. So if I call your commission or board, please stand up. Buildings and Standards Commission, Zoning and Planning, Zoning Board of Adjustments, Parks and Recreation Board, Senior Board, Recycling and Solid Waste. And lastly, but not least, I would like to recognize our staff who deliver great service around the clock. I know some of the members here in the audience as well as staff, and I would like to take a moment to acknowledge all your contributions. So again, thank you. So we're moving to 2025 and our impactful projects. Water infrastructure. To kick off some major milestones from last year, we began work on Milton water line improvement projects. We started before the summer because some of this had to go across West University Elementary. And if you didn't know about this project, you may have seen the construction happening along Rice and Mercer right now. This $3.4 million project is almost complete and should be finished by March. I want to acknowledge Congresswoman Fletcher's office and her team for helping the city secure a $2.5 million EPA grant for the replacement of the pre-1939 cast iron water transmission line and replacing it with a new, larger pipe to improve reliability and water pressure. I mean, I'm sure when you drive through the city of Houston, you see water spouts all the time. That's what we are avoiding with things like this. If you'd like to learn more about this project and other water projects, please see in the back. We have staff and they'll be glad to talk to you about it. Our investments in infrastructure. We began construction on the $19.4 million project to improve storm and flood water resiliency at our wastewater treatment plant. There's the picture, there's at the board over there on that, which will minimize service disruption experienced during Harvey. We've elevated the motor control center by over 14 feet above base flood level, and we have submersible pumps. You can barely see it, but it's there, that will not flood out like the ones we have right now. While this project's underway, the city's evaluating improvements and upgrades to our treatment process as well. Nothing's been decided at this time, but I envision there will be more discussion of the future work later this year or early next year. And you can watch this project happening in real time by visiting our website. We keep a camera rolling on it. It's interesting. Public Works facility, we're almost done with that. Last year we began construction on our $12.4 million Public Works facility on city-owned property in City of Houston at Dinkins and West Park, right across from Good Company Seafood. So I get questions occasionally about what is this building? No, it's not a new Cricket store or anything like that. It is our Public Works building, and it's going to be amazing, I think, for residents and for everybody that works here. It represents our first new building in 15 years, and will relocate staff from facilities constructed in the 50s, right over there, to a modern state-of-the-art facility that enables them to continue delivering the best service that a city could provide. The building should be completed at the end of April. After that, staff will begin the moving process from their current space around this area, which should take a few months. And to follow up on that, I get the question, what are we going to do with the property from in this area that Public Works is moving from? Public Works Administration, where you go and interface with them, will still be housed in the facility on Amherst. It's good to have resident-facing staff here in the middle of the city. The rest of the property and how it will be utilized is a topic of discussion over the coming year. So I believe my goal, and probably speak for most people, is to return what is operational space back to the residents for their enjoyment. So the next time you see our beautiful Wake Forest water tower, just south of 59, you might grab a glimpse of the new beating heart of our operational staff. Sidewalk improvements. Y'all have probably seen those going in. Last year was a big year for continuing work to replace our sidewalks and ensuring that we remain a walkable community and keep people off the streets, onto the sidewalks, and continue to enjoy our lovely city by foot. In 2025, we completed the Metro Sidewalk project. We call it that because we got a grant from Metro, which was made possible by a $400,000 grant. This project replaced over 5,000 linear feet of sidewalk and 10 ADA ramps. Additionally, we completed some pedestrian safety enhancements at our signalized intersections with additional signage and more robust pavement markings to signal to drivers to be on the lookout for pedestrians. Later, I'll follow up with this on some exciting work underway this year. Staffing updates is always important. I'm coming to the end of my summary of the 2025 accomplishments, and this year's been a priority for council and I'm proud to share the progress we made with respect to staffing. Last year, we had great success in filling staffing and empty spots. We entered the new year with our lowest vacancy rate in the single digits since July of 2024, but our 2026 of January vacancy rate is still lower. In 2026, the city created a capital improvement program manager position, which will solely be focused on development and implementation of our capital projects, like the wastewater treatment plant or the new building, because it spread our staff too thin, and we want to make sure to have all these things done right. It's an important position. And this position, coupled with our public works team, will provide greater depth for successfully delivering our projects on time and on budget. In 2025, our new police chief, Gary Ratliff, completed a comprehensive staffing study that plans to increase our public safety staff annually over the next 5 to 6 years. Gary, you want to wave at everybody? There's our police chief right there. Do you have any questions for that? The police department restructured its command staff and recently completed that process with the 2 promotions to the newly reclassified lieutenant positions. These additions will improve the depth of our command structure. We also reclassified an administrative position to a police officer position this year, and we'll be adding 2 new police officer positions. These positions are budgeted for mid-year hire, but if we have viable candidates, I'm confident our administration team will ask council to approve their hiring sooner. In short, we've added 3 new police officer positions in 2025 and the first 2 months of 2026. Lastly, you probably noticed as you entered the building, our newly designed patrol cars. The white exteriors we phased out and replaced with a fresh new design that was picked out by our officers. Make sure to check it out on your way out. 2026, uniquely Westview. That's our theme for this year. 2026 will be the year where we focus on the elements that make Westview unique. Our community is surrounded by the 4th largest city in the United States, and we have done a fantastic job of investing in the pieces that make Westview stand out as a desirable community. I am sure each and every one of you know that and appreciate it. One of these elements that makes us so unique is West University Elementary School. I would like to welcome West University Elementary School Principal Ditch to share how Westview Elementary celebrated its centennial anniversary and its significance to our community. In addition, Representative Ann Johnson will present a state resolution for this historic milestone.
For a century, this school has helped shape not only students, but helped create the identity for this amazing city. The school was founded in 1925 by passionate parents that wanted to start a school for local students. It was in its own district at that time, West University Independent School District. And then within 3 years, it joined the Houston Independent School District. Other fun facts is, up until 1949, it was not just Westview Elementary School, it was also Pershing Middle School. And if you walk by the school, you can still see the cornerstone of where Pershing was housed at the campus. The school has been a gathering place, not just for students, but for families and for neighborhood life. Even today, if you walk by the fields and you walk by the school, you're going to run into a baseball game, a softball game, a soccer game, or just kids running all over the playground. Like many public schools, it did face challenges in the 70s and the 80s, but once again, because of dedicated parents and community leaders, they stepped up, and through partnerships and investments, the school experienced a revival. So the enrollment really started to tick up in the 1990s, and right now we have just under 1,200 students in K through 5. By the 1990s, Westview Elementary had become one of the highest performing neighborhood public schools in the city of Houston, in the Houston region. Today, 100 years later, as we continue to reflect on our past, we see that what was rooted 100 years ago continues to thrive. That's academic excellence, strong parent engagement, dedicated teachers and leadership, and then a culture of service and community pride. We believe in instilling in our students the value of community service and giving back, and we do that through 4 service projects a year. Our cornerstone project is Super Bowl of Caring, which we just completed 2 weeks ago. We helped collect 158,000 food items that went directly to Houston Independent School students that were in need of food. It's hard, yes, that definitely. And we try to be intentional about it. And it doesn't get much more special than seeing these little kindergartner kids walking with these big bags of cans and doing the best they can to get it to class, and then we can get it to the trucks. Our school consistently ranks among the top performing elementary schools in the region and in the state. And it demonstrates that a neighborhood public school can achieve extraordinary results. But this success is not accidental. It's the product of community involvement. Our PTO is thriving, and their support of our campus, both with finances but also with their time, allows our teachers to focus on the main reason we hire them, which is instruction. And their time helps provide enrichment opportunities for our students. And we have a number of events throughout the year. Some of the more notable ones are STEAM Night, where students get to come and get to do activities with science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And then we have our International Festival, where we can see the diversity of the school and how it's represented at the campus. Another element that leads to this success is high expectations. Our community has high expectations for the school. Our teachers have high expectations for our students. And I think that is best memorialized when we look at our 5th grade students. At the end of the year, we capture where they're going, and we see that they're going to the top private schools and public schools throughout the city and throughout the state. And this is where I really brag on our school, and I argue that our teachers do the best job of any school in the city of Houston of preparing our kids for middle school. We get stories all the time from both private schools and public schools of how they're not just ready academically, but they're ready socially. Other elements that lead to this is the commitment to every child. Just like the city of Westview brags about having a small town feel in a big city, we do the same thing at Westview Elementary. And the reason for this is our commitment of our teachers. Our teachers do such a good job of getting to know the students individually and getting to know the families personally. As we continue to celebrate our celebration, or to celebrate our centennial and celebrate 100 years, we want to make sure that we maximize the opportunity to recognize the impact that we've had on the city of Westview. And we're doing this in a number of ways. We started out the year by doing a centennial parade, which we invited community members to. We invited previous alumni and previous staff. We've got a couple more big events that I'd like to put on your radar. On Saturday, April 18th, we're having our Centennial Gala at the McGovern Centennial Gardens. This is not just our typical auction. This is for the entire community. We want to honor the generation of families who have walked the halls. We want to recognize educators who have shaped thousands of lives and celebrate a legacy of excellence. We're also organizing alumni tours for former parents and students. The first one will be on March 2nd. This is our opportunity to invite former students and parents back to just walk the halls of the campus and see their old classrooms. But it's also our opportunity to capture their memories. I've already captured some of these memories just in conversations and showing some former students around. Some of the more notable ones was a former student said that the School of Westview is where they did polio vaccines. And then another former student said that they found out that somebody's brother was going off to World War II because he flew over the school as he was leaving for the war. So we want to take an opportunity to not just let people back in the building and see old yearbooks and old photographs, but also capture those memories. These events are not just celebrations. They're a reminder of what a sustained community commitment and community support can build. And so I want to thank you all for your continued support of Westview Elementary School.
Your services, approximately 45 different service areas while lowering your city-paid property taxes and maintaining a balanced budget. Take a look at that. Take a picture of it. Westview maintains one of the lowest rates in Harris County for a full-service city. The chart on the screen shows you how we compare to our immediate neighbors in Sugar Land. I believe we deliver a really good value for our residents. Budget priorities. This slide speaks for itself. When you get your tax bill, take a look at it and shut your eyes because it's always more than you expect, but look where Westview is. Our portion is 16% or 16 cents out of every dollar that you pay of your residential tax bill, and the bang for your buck is amazing. Police, fire, public works, pipes that don't blow up. I could go on, but I'm preaching to the choir here. Anyway, keep that in mind when you see your tax bill. We work really hard to fit what we can into the right budget. The monthly cost breakdown, after considering Westview is 16% of your total tax bill, what you see on the screen is a breakdown of what your city paid property taxes provide. The city portion of the tax is divided into maintenance and operations, salaries, things like that, and debt service. The maintenance and operation portion pays for daily services supported by property tax. The debt services pays for debt used to construct capital projects, like the wastewater treatment plant. Once again, on a $1.68 million taxable value home, you'll see a total tax paid of $3,855.88 per year for all of these services. When you take out the portion that pays for debt, the total amount of taxes you pay for just daily services is $2,970, or $247.50 per month. Of that amount, approximately 38% pays for public safety, with $75.58 per month for police services, best bargain around, and $47 per month for fire EMS. I encourage everyone to see this detailed breakdown on the exhibit boards in the back of the room and talk to our first responders in the back about what all they feel that they're doing for us, but I think you know. Budget priorities, executing on 2025 Certificate of Obligation projects. We borrowed and now we're doing the projects. This year we're excited to begin delivering on the 2025 CO projects. This includes a variety of improvements to our water system infrastructure, with, again, replacing cast iron water pipes, construction of the Wake Forest Avenue distribution line, renovating work on the inside of the Wake Forest wastewater treatment plant, elevated and ground storage tanks, and to begin design on the Milton Street water pump building and ground storage tanks. And there will be people here to talk to you about that in case that was way too much detailed information. Additionally, these COs will also fund additional modeling work on the west side drainage improvements, which I will speak on in the next slide. This investment will ensure that our water system remains safe and reliable for generations to come. To learn more about these, our Public Works team, again, is here at the exhibit boards in the back corner. Infrastructure investments. Throughout the year, we'll be continuing to look at the west side drainage improvement project. The current estimate for the west side project is between $170 and $200 million. Based on preliminary engineering that's been completed over the last couple of years, it appears this project will also benefit areas outside the western portion of West University and include areas of West U that drain into Poor Farm Ditch, the cities of Houston, Southside Place, Bel Air, and if our modeling bears out what we believe it will, then our project will be more attractive to secure outside funding and cost sharing, which lessens the burden on our residents. However, to secure outside funding and potential cost sharing, a few things have to happen first. One is getting our project added to the state flood plan. Is Ann here? She left. 2, complete the additional modeling. Over the coming year, project engineers will be completing the additional modeling, and I'm excited to see just how a project that started as a Westview centric has the potential to benefit our entire region. Again, more insight on this important project can be found on the exhibit boards in the back of the room. Let's move to pedestrian mobility and safety improvements. Switching gears, no pun intended, to mobility. This year will be a big year for improving mobility for drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians. Typically, this is accomplished through improved sidewalks, traffic calming measures, and enhanced pedestrian crossings at major streets. While this is still waiting final agreement and council acceptance, we were awarded a $250,000 grant from the Federal Highway Administration to conduct a comprehensive safety action plan for pedestrian safety and traffic calming improvements. This planning document will take a holistic view at road and sidewalk users within Westview and identify areas where we can make improvements. It will also allow us to tap into federal funding for future implementation and any construction that may be associated with this initiative. So expect to hear more about that as this gets underway later this summer, once the federal funding and procurement requirements are released. Other improvements underway this year are pedestrian safety and traffic calming along the Wesleyan corridor, which will look to enhance install enhanced pedestrian crossings at the south of University Boulevard, and traffic calming measures. If you can build in traffic calming measures, people naturally will slow down versus have forced enforcement. Preliminary evaluations are already underway, and in March, City Council will receive an update on this work. And I invite everyone to look for that on the agenda and come to that meeting. Lastly, later this year, the City Council will be considering an engineering study to evaluate further pedestrian safety and traffic calming measures around this area, the parks, schools, churches, and some main roadways in West U. The moment we've all been waiting for, Poor Farm Ditch. I'll give you a brief update on that. Harris County Flood Control District's project on the southern portion from University Boulevard to Bel Air. It's not a city project, but we remain committed to communicating with our residents as the project unfolds. Recently, the project and the city hosted a public engagement project meeting for residents to hear the latest on the project and speak one-on-one with flood control engineers. And lastly, if you live directly adjacent to the ditch and haven't spoken with city staff, please do. We put door hangers on every door that abuts the ditch with an invitation to come speak with the city about disruptions and how the project will move forward. Flood control expects construction to start in the summer, so if you haven't signed up for the news alerts, go on our website, and I encourage you to do so. We're looking at, we're not looking, we've agreed to LED street conversion. I think this is exciting. The city authorized CenterPoint to convert our street lights, because our contract was up, from high pressure sodium and metal halide to LED. That's the way most cities are moving. This aligns with our commitment to having safer streets for all drivers, and LEDs are an important update to improve visibility for drivers in our community. We anticipate the conversion to begin this summer and take about 2 months. And those lights can be moved directionally, and they're a lot more nimble as compared to what we have right now. So to close out the many projects and actions currently underway or planned, please take a moment to review the Citizens Advisory Board and Commission Display Board that are, where is that one? Over there, right. That are highlighting some of the topics under review, such as accessory dwelling units, lighting ordinance, noise ordinance, construction days, etc., to name a few. Our government works the best when residents engage with it. And I know you've taken the first step to show up tonight. So I encourage you to continue that engagement and be a part of a process that helps our wonderful community. And again, thanks everyone for coming out. To wrap up this year's address, I want to ask you, my neighbors, this question: what does it mean to you to be uniquely West U? Our city has an inspiring history of charting its own course and being the stewards of our destiny. And then this year, our plans prove to embrace the things that make our community so unique, delivering reliable, high-quality services, continuing and investing in public safety, ensuring quality of life that can be enjoyed by residents of all ages. Thank you for joining us tonight, and I encourage everyone to stick around, view the exhibit boards, eat some food, and engage with our city staff and elected officials. And don't forget to check out our new police vehicle that's out in the front as well. Thank you, and have a great night.